So this is what we're going to be making. It's a rack and pinion. And the gear is going to come off for us here and have a little cutout in it. Our horn on that's chopped so we can get to it. The main part of the build is just laminated laser cuts, which I think is the fastest way to develop most things. It's held together with some dowel rods. We just chop those dowel rods with any type of cutting tool, and then we're just gluing those together. So let's look at how we're going to model this. So here's the 3D model. It should act very similarly, so we can rotate the rack back and forth. To do this, we're going to have to import our laser cut file. And so we have the file of all the laser cuts as if we took it to the laser cutter. Now I'm going to start a sketch. I'm then going to go up here and select import, and I'm going to import this laser cut onto my file. It's all the right size, and so all I need to do is extrude the file and select all the parts. Once that's done, I'm going to rename all the parts to something that makes sense for that, so like the pinion or the rack or the guide piece. Then I'm going to go through and change all the colors so they look something like the color the part's going to be when we're complete. Now I'm going to start with the assembly. And so I've got my assembly selected, and I'm going to insert my first guide. It's the taller one. I'm also going to fix that in place so it can't move anywhere. I'm going to insert guide 2, and I'm going to use a fixed constraint on that between this circle and the inside of that one. Check. And that should keep it from rotating. And then I'm going to repeat that for the rest of that guide. I'm going to open up another part studio in this file, and I'm going to make the dowels. They're both 1/4 inch in diameter with an extrusion of 0.5 and the other one being 0.75. Then I'm going to go back to my assembly and pull those files in and insert them into the holes. The outsides are 1/2 inch, the insides are the 3/4 inch. With those in place, I'm going to go find my servo mount that I made in another document, pull that in, and we're going to add the fastening constraints to lock that in place also. So that's going to take care of all of my fixed parts. And so now I'm going to add in my rack. So I'll go find that part, add it in. And I'm going to add in both sides, and I'm going to fasten these together with the mate off the centroid. So I've got the middle part there, and I've got the middle there. The next thing I'm going to do is a slider mate. And so let me get them close together. And that slider mate is going to be off of a point. And so I want to make sure I get the bottom center there and the top center there. And that's going to allow it to still move back and forth. With that complete now, I'm going to go back to my main menu. I'm going to go to Public, and I'm going to search for the FYE SG90 servo that is chopped. And I'm going to copy that into my workspace. Now I can go back to my other file and I can insert, and it's going to be a lot easier for me to find that file for myself. Then I'm going to add in the assembly version of that servo motor. I'll plug it in right there. And then I'm going to use the hole the screw goes through to be able to add a fixed constraint between that and the other hole. In this situation, it's backwards, and so I'm going to have to flip it backwards and then also rotate it into place. Then I'm going to go get the screws that mount that servo motor and add each of those in with the same fixed constraint. Now we're going to get that chopped servo horn and add that in there using a revolution mate, which is going to allow it to still spin. And then we can even grab the screw horn that locks that in place if we want to lock it in. We're then going to pull out, and we're going to add in our pinion gears. And so we'll just use a centroid of both of those and fixed constraint those together. Then we can bring that a little bit closer to our main structure, and we just use a fixed constraint between the chopped horn and the center of that pinion gear. Make sure you don't hide it. And then once you have that, you should be able to turn around and see that when we rotate that gear, that chopped horn is going to rotate with it. To animate this, we're going to have to use the rack and pinion relationship, and we're going to find a revolute mate and a slider mate. Yours might be a little bit different than mine as far as that goes. When we select those, we've got to give it a distance per revolution. Our gear is 1 inch, and so our distance is going to be 3.1415. I also had to set it to reverse the direction. Last step is trying to get the teeth to align, and to do that, you have to go into one of the mate connectors and edit them in Z direction. In my situation, I had to rotate by 22 degrees. Typically, I just change and play with the numbers until I'm happy with it. And there you go. We have our full assembly.